So what if I told you there's a proven way to literally double the reading progress of a student who's struggling? Well, today we're diving into a really powerful solution to one of the biggest, most stubborn challenges in education, the literacy gap. Let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, let's just set the stage with one single, really sobering number. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, nearly 38% of 12th graders in the US are reading below a proficient level. I mean, just think about that for a second. More than 1 out of every 3 students is about to graduate high school without the basic skills they need for college, for a career, for just about anything. And that really raises the critical question, right? If what we're currently doing isn't getting the job done, what will? Well, the answer, according to a whole lot of evidence, is a very specific and targeted strategy.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the challenge itself. Then we'll define exactly what high-impact tutoring is. After that, we'll look at the real-world results, the proof. Then lay out a blueprint for success. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for unlocking a student's true potential.
All right, let's kick things off with the challenge. You see, this isn't just a high school problem. Not at all. These literacy gaps, they start super early, and the consequences just ripple through a student's entire life. The stakes get incredibly high, incredibly fast. This stat from the National Center for Education Statistics is just staggering. A student who isn't reading proficiently by the end of second grade is 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. That tells you everything you need to know. Early, effective help isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely critical.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Now, we're not talking about just any old after-school help here. We're talking about something called high-impact tutoring, a specific research-backed model that is designed for one thing and one thing only, to get results.
And you know, the real magic is in the details. Intensive means it's frequent and super focused. Personalized means it's built around what each individual student actually needs. And data-driven, that means progress is always being measured so you can make adjustments in real time. It's like using a laser, not a sledgehammer. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, the model usually calls for at least 2, maybe 3 sessions a week, really zeroing in on those core skills like phonics or reading comprehension. And, you know, one of its most powerful features is how flexible it can be. Research has shown that when it's done right, virtual tutoring can be just as effective as being in the same room. And that's a huge deal because it gives schools access to way more specialized tutors and makes sure that every single session is high quality. Okay, so the model sounds great on paper, but does it actually work? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. And the evidence is there. It's consistent from kindergarten all the way through senior year of high school. Just look at the difference this makes. The U.S. Department of Education's What Works Clearinghouse found that this kind of tutoring can literally double the rate of progress for readers who are behind. We're not talking about a small little bump here. This is a massive acceleration in learning. And you see this story play out in school districts all over the country. Look at Denver. At-risk high school seniors jumped 2.5 grade levels in reading comprehension. Chicago, middle schoolers gained 2 grade levels. In Boston, English language learners saw almost the same massive gains. And in Houston, this kind of model was even linked to a 15% jump in graduation rates. I mean, the data couldn't be clearer. This stuff works. But you know, beyond all the numbers, there's this really powerful human side to it all. This quote from a tutor, Luz Duarte, it just gets right to the heart of it. It's about making that connection, you know, seeing that light bulb go on for a student, and bridging those gaps, one-on-one. That personal investment from the tutor, that's a huge part of what makes this model so successful.
Yeah, that personal impact is the goal. But to make it happen for hundreds or thousands of students, districts really need a clear plan. So how do you actually do it? Well, it takes a really smart, strategic blueprint to make sure the program is delivered with quality every single time.
A great program is kind of like a 3-legged stool. First, you've got the academic piece, right? Planning the curriculum, setting goals, reporting on progress. Second, you need the people power, finding, training, and scheduling amazing tutors. And third, you have to have that behind-the-scenes support to make sure everything runs like a well-oiled machine and is always getting better. It's a serious logistical challenge for sure. So for any school district leader out there, success really comes down to a few key things. It all starts with having a clear vision and a real commitment to this. From there, it's about picking the right partners and having the data systems to track progress. But honestly, maybe the most critical factor is sticking to the proven model. No shortcuts. And of course, woven through all of it has to be a relentless focus on equity, on making sure every single student has access. All right, let's bring it all home. Because the goal of all this work, it isn't just about bumping up test scores. It's about something much, much bigger than that. And this, right here, this is the real heart of the matter. When we give students the tools to become strong, confident readers, we're giving them a sense of control over their own lives. We're building their confidence. We're opening doors to college, to better jobs, to being an active part of society. This isn't just about grades. It's about empowerment. And so that really leaves us with one final, vital question to think about. When we know that solutions like this actually exist, what is the true cost for our students and for our whole society of all that potential just being left unlocked? Thanks for joining.